specifically phrasing in the trans community is, I wouldn't say touchy, I would say you have to be very specific, because we are talking about a person's identity. And when I was with my trans boyfriend the first time that, because we had spoken maybe for a couple days before I actually met him, and I remember talking to him and always, you know, using male pronouns and always like referring to him as he, you know, him, all that kind of stuff. And then he hasn't had top surgery yet. And so when he undressed in front of me and we were making out, it just inadvertently came out, and I said, I've never been with a girl like you before, and I felt instantly like so shitty. Like instantly, like as soon as it came out, I was just like, I'm so sorry, that's never happened. And I never referred to him as such ever again after that. I don't know like what kind of lapse, I don't know if it was like a visual to like brain kind of thing, but I think being with him and then being ingrained in that world and seeing it from a second perspective, because I can't relate on a person who is transitioning, because identity is so fundamentally important.
I like to call myself transgender tendencies. Why? Because I am fully not a man and fully not a woman. I'm in the middle. I'm a drag queen, like I've said. I use that as an excuse for everything, because I do want that to be a career and I do want a woman's body, but I don't want to have any breast or anything like that. I have my nails done, I wear heels. Free expression should be more free without any additives.
Like, I feel like for some people, they're afraid to ask a person like what they identify as, but I feel like by getting over that hump and you know, not being like, what are you, you know, and being like, you know, do you identify as trans, you know, comfortably, normally, by just talking about it and normalizing it to the point that they can feel comfortable about talking about, yeah, I go by these pronouns, I prefer to be addressed by this, I, you know, don't want to be addressed by my birth name or any of that stuff. It's really fucking important.
I think drag queens in its own is like, let's put DQ in LGBTQ, because we're a whole set of different crayons. We really are. But in the end, it is a community in its own. And with the LGBT community, there is backlash within our own community, and there is backlash with the drag community as well.
I understand the controversy between the trans community and drag performers, because it does feel personal sometimes. It does feel like an attack on identity and on gender. And I mean, there are ways that you can make the argument that it could be very similar to, you know, days of blackface, of, you know, appropriating, you know, culture for comedy. And I think what separates that is the intent, ultimately, because having watched a bunch of seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race, there are people who this is an art for them. This is an actual talent, you know, whether it is makeup or design, and even more importantly, comedy. Being able to assume a role, being able to be this completely different personality from your own, and being able to do it from behind this barrier that is, you know, like, I'm going to pretend to be this larger-than-life woman. And there are plenty of aspects about that are wonderful, and it is different than, you know, and some guy putting on a mop on his head and being like, I'm a gal, I do women shit, and like knocking women down and making fun of them. Because I don't think ultimately a really good drag queen is trying to mock women, is trying to mock the trans community or anything like that. I think they just want to entertain, and they want to perform, and they understand the art, and they understand where it came from. And they just want people to be in on the joke as well, because I also know people, trans people, who really enjoy the show in the same way that I know people who are against it. So it's very gray. It is very gray.
It's either you're trans or you're trying to figure out if you're trans. There's not an experience. What an experience is a drag queen. We entertain and we perform. Yes, I can talk about Carmen Carrera from RuPaul's Drag Race, and I can talk about Monica Beverly Hills. Like what Monica Beverly Hills, she is trans and drag is what she does. That is her job, her profession. I don't know where in life she is right now, but that's what she said. And I think it is because you're on stage, you have a fan base, you love entertaining. I think that's the most key that people don't understand. We love to entertain. It's not, I want to be a woman, it's, I want to be a character. I want to be Susan Bark. I want to be Holly Berry, Beyonce. I want to be that, and the only way I can be that is if I can put on a $5 face and I'm good to go and party off.